Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Respect the Pick. Jaden is celebrating as always. I feel like there's a lot of episodes where Jaden starts us off dancing. I like it. I'm on board with it.
Can he dance, though? Is he a good dancer?
You know what? He's not, but that doesn't matter. I never stop anyone from dancing.
Let me ask you a question. Is this an episode about Christmas?
No.
No.
What day is today?
Today is December 27th.
So to all you people out there, Phil turned that Christmas tree light on behind him and said, "Oh, we're doing an end of the year episode, so I'm going to light the Christmas tree." Is that a Christmas tree or a New Year's tree? And is there such a thing as a New Year's tree?
In the words of Andy Williams, it's the holiday season, which means New Year's is clumped in
Christmas
with
is
Christmas.
over.
So the Christmas lights, Christmas tree can stay up till New Year's.
So does the holiday season start in Thanksgiving and go until
To me, the holiday season starts Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving until New Year's?
I kind of want to start it at Halloween.
Yeah. I don't like how you said Halloween, but other than that, I told Mom let's put the Christmas tree up after Halloween next year.
My mom, not
Your mom, not my mom.
Your mom.
No, your mom and my mom are the same mom.
But my mom.
Your mom is my mom is the same mom.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom is your wife.
Right.
Your mom is your wife.
Nope.
Try that again.
All right, so we're gonna do a 2023 breakdown. 2023.
That's
A
right.
year in review.
Listen, here's the one thing I like the most about 2023. The word that we heard. We heard it way too much in the years leading up to it, and that is COVID. Right? Even though COVID is rearing its ugly head right now.
Yeah.
It's not on the news every single day.
Right.
We're not talking about shutting things down.
I mean, all three of us in this room have had it this year.
Yeah, but
It got me.
I mean,
I had it in
okay
September.
that we had it, but my point is, the years previously, that was the big topic every year up until even last year. There was a lot of talk about.
I wish I would have gotten COVID when it was more talked about. I think I would have got more sympathy points. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like no big fucking deal.
Yeah,
Dude.
now
Everybody's
if you
had
get
it, dude.
Well, because people have
cry me a river,
immunity
get
and all
over
that
it.
stuff. So.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna do the 2023 year in review kind of thing.
Year in review.
I mean, it's going to be stuff that we care about. We're not talking politics. We're not
Right.
talking.
Screw that.
We don't do a lot about music on this show.
I have a little bit of music.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, bring it down then.
So we're going to start in January 2023.
What happened in January 23?
So to me, when I look at January 2023, it's like probably the best, IP there is now out there. The TV show on HBO Max, The Last of Us.
Yeah, I watched it. I loved it.
It's the best thing that came out in.
I mean,
2023.
Pedro Pascal was born to look after a younger person.
Yeah.
It seems like, right? Because he plays, Mando, where he's looking after Grogu, and now he's looking after what was her name?
Ellie.
Ellie.
But he didn't do a very good job of looking after his sister and her daughter because the mountain killed them.
Well, he also wasn't very good at looking after his own daughter.
That's right. She
'cause
died.
She
right?
died in the first episode.
Did she get sick or did she get? Did she get
The
shot?
cop shot her.
The cop blasted her.
I mean,
right.
spoiler alert. Crap.
I think everybody's seen it.
it's a
by
year
now.
old now.
But The
Right.
Last of Us, it was so good. You don't expect a video game like spin-off or take or whatever you
I
want to
don't
call
know.
it.
That's changing now.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Well,
It was
we talk about the Mario movie later in this 2023.
Yeah, that's my point.
And
that's my point.
Zelda, they announced that Zelda is going to have a movie this year, so it's becoming a big thing. Five Nights at Freddy, wasn't that based on a video game?
Five
Yeah.
Nights at Freddy's is a.
So, but let's go back to Last of Us. It was so well acted. It was. They added more to it, obviously, than the game. It wasn't exactly along with the game, but it was pretty loyal to the game. The guy who wrote the story for the game co-created the show, so a lot of that was good. I thought Nick Offerman was amazing.
That episode was really, really good.
Nick Offerman deserves an Emmy for his portrayal of I can't remember his name.
Was that part of the game? That episode was that part of the game?
Sort of. That's
Okay.
that was more expounded upon their relationship. In the game, you run across those two,
Gotcha.
but they don't talk about.
I never played the
as
game,
much, so.
and there's a scene where I want to say Pedro Pascal is sniping a bunch of zombies, right? And I was like, well, I can see this right in the game, right? So you're trying to protect someone running from point to
You
point,
would
and you're
not like the.
blasting-
I don't. But you might. You
blasting
might.
zombies.
It's not a lot of running around. It's very linear, so you could handle it that way.
It's not simple enough for him.
Nah.
Simple is not necessarily the issue. I just don't like where, like, with Tears of the Kingdom, you spend so much time gathering shit,
Listen, you don't do that in this.
right? Okay, so you have all the stuff you need to go and fight.
You have. Well, you're very low on your ammo and stuff.
I could see him getting very, very frustrated.
He could, but you've never played it either.
No,
so you don't-
but I watched you play it as a child.
Here's what I think you would have to do. You have to go into it thinking, okay, I'm going to watch this for this. I'm watching this for a lot of it for the story. It's more of an interactive story than it is a video game at times.
See, and I don't necessarily need an interactive story. I want to have fun.
But you've never tried it. You
No,
watch.
I'll
You
give it
watch
a shot.
shows.
Yeah.
You watch TV. You don't play games there. So, I mean,
I should play The Last of Us. I love interactive stories.
The Last of Us is one of the best games I've ever played. The Last of Us 2 is even better. And Ellie, the girl in the game, she was based loosely on Ashley Johnson.
Right. From Growing Pains,
From
right?
Growing Pains, yeah.
Yep.
And she does the voice too of Ellie, and she's and
Did she make a cameo?
Yeah, she did. She was Ellie's mother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, I don't think they talk about that in the game, but man, it's so intense at the end. And Pedro
Pedro Pascal.
Shit, man.
played it so well, right?
Flipped
Being
his
Joel,
shit.
like you're not doing this to Ellie. You already got somebody already got my daughter. You're not getting my new daughter.
He went into full rage dad mode.
Yeah, that was intense.
I was into it. I was hooked.
Yeah, and he was really good. He was good too. They don't need to give everything to him though. I feel like
Right, because now they're talking about him in Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah.
But he's good.
He is good.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's a good actor, give him the good roles.
Now he wasn't great in Wonder Woman, but
But he was
well, it wasn't- it wasn't a great
one of
role.
the better parts of the movie.
it wasn't a great role for him. But
No.
do you guys have January stuff?
My January thing is A Man Called Otto. It was a lot of like the Oscar movies come out in January because that's when that's the end of it, and they want to be fresh on people's minds when it comes to Oscar time. I went and saw it by accident. We went to see. You're gonna love this.
You went and saw it by accident.
I went and saw it by accident. Tandy and I went to see Groundhog Day in the theaters, and for whatever reason, it wasn't working. So they went to give us a refund, and Tandy and I were like, we're already here. Let's pick a movie and watch it. So we went and saw A Man Called Otto. And it was pretty good. We dug it. What's the matter? He just walked away. I thought he was about to have a coughing fit or something. Cause
Yeah, I thought he was
COVID,
going to the
but he went
bathroom.
and banged-
see Groundhog Day in the movie theater? Why would you pay to see it?
That's a good movie.
It's fun. The theater was pretty packed. We were all disappointed. A lot of us ended up going to see A Man Called Otto.
I saw it for free. You know,
What
Well, you eventually see a lot of movies for free.
What did you think of
A Man Called
A
Otto.
Man Called Otto?
It was good. It was deep. It had a lot of heart. Tom Hanks. I mean,
I got bored.
I don't think he did a great job acting. He basically just made his voice growl to make him sound like a dick. But that was his dick
You
character.
usually don't like grumpy people.
I don't. But man, the end, it like melts your heart at the end.
Remind me of the end. Spoiler alert.
He dies basically, and he takes over the cat, and he kind of turns over a new leaf, and he helps save that apartment place, right? That whole little street of people.
Yeah.
And he gives everything over to the family, who he kind of took on as his second family, and
Okay, yeah, that's right.
But the other big thing of January was Megan. Now, I think Megan officially released in December. Like, it had, like, a soft opening in December. But it really took off in January. And, like, I remember, like, on YouTube and TikTok and everything, you just see the girls in the Megan dress, in the wig and the makeup and just dancing, doing the Megan dance everywhere.
Did you like that movie?
I was pleasantly surprised with it, but I mean, I kind of saw where it was going to go. I mean, it's basically just the AI comes to life and gets attached to the
To the girl?
main character, the little girl, and just kills everybody.
I know what movie you're
You should
talking
watch
about
it.
now.
You might like that.
Yeah, you might like Megan.
I do like the story. I mean, it's
You don't like horror movies though.
but I'm kind of getting more into horror now that I'm an adult.
Yeah,
Interesting. I got a whole list of horror movies.
I thought Megan was okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm the old man now. Like they don't make movies like they used to. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
never like any movies. I like TV now. I like music now still. But just movies, I just don't.
I don't. It's, music to me is.
They just don't make the charming movies like they used to. They only make horrors and
You have been on record though saying that they've run out of new music, so now they're just rehashing old stuff.
I mean, part of it is they've run out of you. After a while, there's no tunes left, right?
There's no new melodies.
There's no new melodies.
At least that sound good.
Right. Like after a while, you have to, and that's happening everywhere.
Well,
That's
it's the-
happening
yeah,
in movies
it's
too.
the same thing. I mean, even South Park way back in the day, talk about Simpsons did it. You can't make a new episode of a show that the Simpsons didn't already do.
Let me
And
say
that was
this.
like the early 2000s.
We are a perfect example of something that's happening to entertainment in general. You're just flooded with so much entertainment. And now it's just like random people who have no acting training, no like other music training or whatever, but you're being entertained by them.
Right.
Just if there's enough shit out there, even if you put up a whole bunch of crap every once in a while, there's something good.
but yeah,
Even if it's just all amateurs.
it's a way to find talented people.
But talented people don't evolve anymore. They stay on the social
don't.
media.
That's
They stay on
incorrect.
YouTube.
Now,
incorrect.
if I'm not mistaken, there's this little kid with his father, and I think his father passed away from cancer. They were huge on TikTok, mostly lip syncing to that one dude, who talks funny, like, Wally, are you going to go in the van if he offers you someone candy? No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go.
I know what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about? That guy, the two.
The kid wasn't that young.
Right. Well, he looked pretty young, and he's super adorable. And I think he got a gig on like a sitcom or something. And I've seen him in commercials too. And I saw the one family on TikTok. The kid and his boyfriend says, "Guess the NFL team by the logo." He talks to his girlfriend, another
Yeah.
attractive
Okay.
girlfriend.
Okay.
So he talks to them, and they do a shaving commercial together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I see people evolve
Yeah,
from TikTok.
But if you see a lot of the stuff that you watch, that people watch on TikTok, it's just like 5-second clips that just catch your attention, 15-second, 30-second clips that catch your attention. And then when you start having influencers and they start setting shit up and then they have to act, that's when you start to see the difference, right?
Right.
Like, okay, you're not an actor. Fine if you're being an influencer and you're talking like we do and you're doing stuff like, I mean, we did a little when the light, when our
lost
when we
our
turned
colors
black
of
and
black.
white.
That wasn't acting.
But we were damn good. Okay, we were good.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were black and white.
So,
Yeah,
for
that was
like
not
2
acting.
episodes.
but when they like do these things where like this lady came up to my car and started screaming at me and like it's terrible acting, and the dog found the wallet and blah blah blah.
And they do like the girlfriend, like, my girlfriend cheated on me, so this is what I did. Bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
bullshit.
happened.
So, listen, I don't want this to turn into you two old farts ranting about kids nowadays.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
get
right.
back on track.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Good call right there.
But I did want to say that our attention span has dwindled. I was joking with Jaden when we were prepping for this episode that he doesn't have the attention span to watch a whole
I
movie.
absolutely do.
Because you grew up in the TikTok era, and I think our kids are falling into that. And that's what I think what happened to the new West Side Story. Steven Spielberg tried to make it with a really super fast pace because everybody's got that TikTok, attention span.
quick cuts.
Yep, really fast, and it ruined the movie.
All right, you old geezers. Let's get back on track.
February, I got something for February. Let me start this. We just made an episode about the Dick Van Dyke Show. We're ranking the Dick Van Dyke shows because we love Dick Van Dyke. He's legend. He is. If I could meet anybody, I've already met my buddies Rob, Glenn, and Charlie, so I can take them off my list.
We've met Al, Weird Al.
So I got older people. I got Dick Van Dyke, I got Larry David, and I got Howard Stern. Those are 3 guys who I would really, if I could pick, I don't know who my other 2 would be now, but since those Sunny guys are off, those 3 guys are on my list, who I would want to meet. Okay? Dick Van Dyke is number 1, though. Well, mostly because I'm running out of time with him, right? He's 98 years old. But, dude, he's 98 years old, and this dude was on Masked Singer. He gets up there in the gnome, this big gnome costume. He can barely move, barely walk, moving it. And he sings a song. I can't remember what song. When You're Smiling, the whole world smiles with you. And I didn't quite recognize his voice right away. I was like, I don't know. A lot of people, they thought it was
Robert De Niro.
No. The guy Tootsie.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. They all thought it was Dustin Hoffman. But even with the voice changer on it, there's a certain way he says, I don't remember which words it is, but I said, wait a minute. That sounds like Dick Van Dyke. Remember? You were there, weren't you?
I was there.
I was like, that sounds like Dick Van Dyke to me. And then when I went back and listened to him sing, it had no voice change. I said, that's Dick Van Dyke. I said, I know that's Dick Van Dyke. And Michelle and Jaden were like, you're pretty sure. You might think it is. You think? I said, no. That's Dick Van Dyke. I know it for a fact, didn't I? I knew it because he's the voice I've heard the most in my entire life. Right? You don't.
It's up there.
I mean, besides yourself, but even you don't talk to yourself when you're home alone.
Right.
When I'm home alone watching Dick Van Dyke, I've seen that Dick Van Dyke episode. I've seen every episode at least 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
At least. Some of them 100, I bet.
Oh yeah.
So I've heard his voice so many times in my life.
Yeah. He's epic.
So I knew it was him. And he popped out of that thing and the place went nuts and everybody was giving him a standing ovation. And that to me was one of the best things in the year so far. That's February.
Yeah, and just a couple days ago they released that special that I really want to watch, Legendary '98 or something like that.
Yeah,
I definitely
magic,
wanna
something to do
watch
with
that.
magic.
Weird Al is one of the people that are like.
Yeah,
hosting
they
it.
talked about it.
Yeah,
They
Weird Al
talked
was a
about
host,
yeah.
one of the hosts or something.
So we definitely want to watch that. If you're a fan of the show and you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what's going to be released in what order, but we're going to rank every single episode. There's 158 episodes. We're going to go from 158 down to 1. And you guys got to see if your list agrees with ours. We should do a push. We should do a push to get Dick Van Dyke as our first guest on this podcast. Come on, help us trend it. Let's go. We've had local guests, we want our first celebrity guest to be the legendary Dick Van Dyke.
Can you imagine?
Make it freaking happen. We have
to
the
trend it.
technology.
If we trended it.
We have the technology to get him on remotely. He doesn't have to fly to Ontario. We don't have to fly to California.
I wanna meet him.
We can get him on via Zoom, and he will be our first guest. Come on, Mr. Van Dyke.
He's the best person in the world.
Oh, my God, it
Mr.
would
Van
be
Dyke,
epic.
we think you're the greatest person in the world.
Yeah,
And
Hashtag legend.
he just turned 98. I think his birthday is in
It's in December.
December in the teens. Right?
Yeah,
December
early teens or in the single digits.
he's the I think he's the guest that I would most want to meet, unless it's The Rock coming to kick my ass.
Yeah, if The Rock can Kool-Aid Man through the wall and beat Jaden up, we would love that. Rock, the invitation still stands. Come through that wall. Knock those pool cues down.
Just break
December
one,
13th,
break one in half and stab me with it.
Yeah.
Like break it over your knee.
Yeah,
Well,
you
no
can.
one wants to see him stab you.
Nah,
I
you
want to
can-
see him.
you
I
can
wanna
kill
see
him if you want to.
I want to see him Hulk Colloquium, grab him by the feet, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of me, Rock. Quantum Mania.
That was
came
mine
out in
too.
February.
It was a letdown. That to me, I was so looking forward to so many movies this year, and that was one of the first letdowns. of
Okay,
the
here's
year.
the problem I had with Quantumania, and then we got to let Jaden talk because this is his thing. You want to focus on Paul Rudd, and there were so many other characters and so much stuff going on, and this way and that way and this way and that way, and it was so convoluted and just like it hurt your brain. You almost needed to have a flow chart in front of you and like, okay, stop, rewind. Can you do that again? Can you play? Okay, this, you know what I mean? It was just like, at times, right? And his daughter was there, and they're trying to focus on her a little bit, and just you lost the charm of Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. I just think of Paul Rudd in what is he in Dairy Queen? No, he's in Dairy
Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins.
That's it.
It's amazing, right? Those scenes with him and Baskin Robbins are amazing in the first episode. So, what do you think of it?
My main thing that I took away from Quantumania is that they're doing the big bad wrong. Back in the Infinity Saga, when it was Thanos was the big bad, you got glimpses of him with allusions to how powerful he was, right? And in this movie, they're just shoving Kang down your throat.
Well, he got fired.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I I hate to admit this because if he, did the evil things that they said he did, that I don't want to praise him, but I watched Loki season 2 recently, and man, he's good.
He is.
He does the two different versions of Kang that he plays are so different, so separate from each other. You can't tell it's the same guy. So that's impressive as an actor, when you can, differentiate the character so much.
Yeah.
So, I got to give him credit as an actor. It's a shame that
They can hire anybody to play him now. It can be a woman. Look there's a girl Loki. There's an alligator Loki, right? Like.
it did
Let's
sound.
not get into this.
This goes to the copping out. The multiverse is crap.
Well, it does sound like they fired him, and they're going to move away from the Kang character, right?
No,
But
they're
gonna focus-
recasting the Kang.
They're going to
character.
recast.
That's what I thought.
I thought it sounded like they're going to move on from him and focus on Doctor Doom.
I hope that's what they should have done in the first place.
Okay, I got a good idea to play Doctor Doom. I'll play Doctor Doom. I could do it.
I don't know enough about Doctor Doom.
I don't care. I could find out enough about him and play him.
You might be okay, but I really think there's one person that might do a better job.
We're social media influencers.
One person who might do a better job than you, and I think that's me.
You're gonna play Doctor Doom? I don't think you could play a doctor.
I think someone did a.
Are you going to say
fan casting
that
of
you
him.
can play Doctor Doom now?
No, I couldn't play. I don't know enough about him.
Oh, okay.
If he's a big fat guy, then yeah, I could probably play him. But I heard that they did cast someone, and it sounded like he could be a good villain, but I can't remember who it is. So I probably shouldn't.
To play
brought it
Doctor
up.
Doom?
Yeah, I
Oh.
probably shouldn't even bother.
Well, somebody can tell us about it, or you can put it in post.
leave it in the comments.
Somebody has been casted. I don't know who.
No, they weren't
or for
casted.
what.
Someone fan cast them.
Are you talking about Boyega?
No, they suggested Boyega for Kang.
I have another disappointment from February.
Go for it.
In February, Nintendo released Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games onto the Switch, right? Those were the biggest consoles for Pokemon, right? That's what the first 3 sets of games came out.
You went back and bought, right? Didn't you
I
get one
went
for
back
Christmas?
and bought a Game Boy. I got a Game Boy Advance with Pokemon on it
Just
so I
for
could
some of
play
these
those
games.
games. And I was like, oh, hell yes. They're coming to the Switch with the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. How do they not release the Pokemon games on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance for the Switch? Right? That's the biggest seller of those consoles. Nope. They're not there. They're not. To this day, they're still not
Well,
on the
maybe
Switch.
they're waiting to make it a big release.
Yeah, they might be teasing him.
They might be.
Patience.
I'm not a doctor. I don't have any patience.
All right.
Dentists have patience. Are you a dentist?
Dentists are doctors. They're teeth doctors.
Phil, you got anything for March?
Shazam, the Shazam sequel. It just brings up the whole. It seems like this year was the big year for DC movies, but at the same time, they've announced that they're rebooting everything. So you have Shazam coming out. You had The Flash come out, and just a couple days ago, maybe even a week ago, Aquaman came out. They did all this. Blue Beetle came out this year.
Was
but
that
I think
good?
I think Blue Beetle is part of the new DC.
Did
though.
you watch Blue Beetle?
I have not watched Blue Beetle.
I want
yet.
to watch Blue Beetle because I really like the kid who plays him.
Well, he's also supposed to be like the Spider-Man of DC.
Blue
Yeah.
Beetle is.
But he was before Spider-Man, the comic, the Blue Beetle.
Well, they have very different like powers and stuff, but they have similar personalities.
But the kid plays Miguel on Cobra Kai, and I really like him.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I think
I've never seen Cobra Kai.
You should watch it, dude.
I
It's
think
good.
that if they go into this new DC with this Blue Beetle and Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, I think it could be good. I could get into it.
Okay. Well, Joaquin's supposed to be his own thing. Robert Pattinson Batman's supposed to be his own thing.
I don't-
And then there's supposed to be this whole other big DC universe. And they're also talking about Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman again, but her being her own thing.
I don't like that.
It's such a mess.
Either
have
do it or don't.
Either have it mixed or don't have it mixed. One or
Exactly.
the other.
Exactly. So that was my big thing.
Am I too bright now?
No, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
That was my March thing. Also, this wonderful, awesome new thing debuted in March.
Oh
But
boy.
what was that?
This new podcast, I think it's called Respect the Pick.
Is that when we started?
Respect the Pick recorded our first official episode. We recorded one in February, but the technology failed us.
We didn't put it on March though. We didn't put it in March though.
No, I think it released in April. I think because we released it after the Mario movie. We talked about going to see the Mario movie when it came out. but we released it in
Speaking
in
of the
April. So we
Mario.
recorded our first episode ever in March.
Speaking of the Mario movie, let's move to April.
Mario movie, I loved it. It's bang.
loved it?
Yes, I
You
loved
loved
it.
it?
I sat and watched that movie with a huge smile on my face, especially the beginning when you see like pictures of Glass Joe on the wall, and when he's playing Kid Icarus on the Nintendo, and when he's running to the new job with Luigi, it looks like he's playing a level. You know, he jumps over a fence and puts something there so Luigi can get over, and then he ends it by hitting the pole and sliding down
Listen.
it. They did a great job of playing homage to the games.
Listen, Phil likes to sell movies by whether or not he was smiling or if he was glowing or whatever he says.
If I'm smiling or glowing throughout the whole movie, that means I liked it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Instead of like thumbs up or thumbs down or 1 to 10, have it be like, so for this movie, I give it a frown. For this movie, I give it a smile.
Why not? That's
for this movie, I give it a glow.
That's fine. I like it. I think that's a good way to judge a movie. If
When
I'm
Dick Van
happy
Dyke was
watching
dancing
it,
like a penguin, I was glowing.
I was.
Look, I'm glowing right now. I think I need to turn that off.
I can get into this. I am digging this light, guys. But also, the other part I really liked about the Mario movie was when he was first introduced to Mushroom Land and he's on his way to the princess. It looks like he's going through 3D world. What?
Mushroom Land.
Mushroom World. Isn't that what it's
The
called?
Mushroom Kingdom.
But he's going through it. He's
Get it right.
jumping on the thing, and you know, like it just looked like he was in a level.
You Mario phony.
And when he's training, that looked like a real game. And at the end, when he gets the superstar and they beat Bowser with the superstar, it was a good
I fell
nostalgia.
asleep.
They did a great job of paying homage to the games.
I fell asleep 2 times.
See, when I watched it, I really didn't enjoy Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo's portrayal of the characters.
We're talking about this year, bro, not 1992. I don't think I ever. I remember it being on in the background at Jared Utland.
Wasn't there a Mario TV show that Captain Lou Albano played Mario?
Well, he played there was like a live action version of him, like in a clubhouse kind of situation.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a cartoon.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if he voiced the cartoon or not.
In the live action one, it was. Oh, you're talking about a different thing.
Yeah,
I
we're
was
talking about the TV. We're talking about a TV show with
Okay.
Captain Lou Albano, who's a wrestler.
Yeah, he was a pro wrestler. He had rubber bands in his face.
He rubber banded his beard, right?
Yeah. And he had like rubber band piercings and shit.
Did he really?
Yeah.
What a fucking weirdo.
It was weird. Okay, we going to move on or no? We still got March. April. We're in April. I got in April. Jedi Survivor. It's a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. It's a video game about Star Wars. It takes place after episode 3, before episode 4.
Okay.
It's about a Jedi who survived. If you've ever played,
66.
yeah, the second one isn't as good as the first one. I mean, technically it is better, right? Like, there's more things to do and whatever, and the graphics are better or whatever, blah blah blah. But sometimes you can't judge a video game like that because usually the second ones are better, like technically, but it doesn't have the same effect.
feeling.
It
doesn't make you glow.
It
or
doesn't,
smile
it doesn't make
as
me
much.
smile the whole time I was playing it. But the planets aren't as the planets aren't as good. But the game was good. I was happy with it, but it wasn't as good as I had thought. I was expecting it to be my favorite game of the year, but it was not.
I heard there's a lot of technical issues with it, especially early on.
Which reminds me, we skipped it in February. My favorite game of the year was the one I didn't expect it to be, and that was Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, you were really looking forward to it. It's not like you were wanting it to come out and expecting it
But
to be
I thought
crap.
it was going to be like one of those stupid, like, you know how like they have like the mobile game and you like do all these, like I thought it was going to be more like that. But the way they like really like fleshed out Hogwarts, it's like, and now they can make a second one because they already got Hogwarts built, and
Right.
they put so much detail into Hogwarts. The people who made the game love the Harry Potter world. You can tell they love the Harry Potter world.
And you can go to Hogsmeade too, right?
You can go to Hogsmeade. Yep.
Can you go to Diagon Alley?
No.
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 I
Maybe
bet
the
that
next
will be in the
game.
next
Maybe
one.
that'll be the next one. But that was people don't realize that was the highest grossing game of 2023.
It doesn't surprise me.
The
I mean,
game-
even my wife, who doesn't even play video games, I got it for her for Christmas
she's not
because
playing
she
it.
Well, that's
she played it all day the day we got it, and then she just forgets she had it.
So
there's also been a real Harry Potter resurgence lately.
well, a lot of people don't like Harry Potter because of J.K. Rowling.
Rowling.
Yeah, but you have to. Sometimes you just have to separate the person from the work. You know.
Right.
And J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with Hogwarts Legacy, and they put a
Really? She didn't?
transgender character in there just to kind of say, "Listen, we get it." So there's a
That's a good move of them. I like
there's
that.
a
a
tra-
I like that a lot.
But a
didn't
lot,
know
a lot of people say that was just they should. I don't know, but some people were like pissed about that. Like, oh, whoa, big deal! You put a transgender.
You're always
character-
going to find the douches that get pissed about trans.
Listen,
things.
here's my here.
Okay, so we're getting real dicey.
You're
now.
right. You're right. But to my opinion, if my kid's fine with me playing it, then I'm fine playing it.
I also heard, well, I didn't hear, this is big news. They announced, you talked about Harry Potter resurgence, they're doing the TV show. They announced the
when's
TV
that
show.
coming out?
I don't know, but man, I do not want the person's job who has to recast Ron, Harry, and Hermione
Oh,
after.
boy.
After, you know,
They're gonna be little.
how loved those three are.
The problem with casting someone that little is you don't know how good they're going to be as they grow up. Like I would say that Emma Watson evolved better than the other two. Daniel Radcliffe is terrible.
He's not terrible.
I think he is.
He was great in the Weird Al movie. Was
And
that this year? Did that movie come out this year?
I don't think so. I think
I
it
don't
was
know.
2022.
Maybe he's good. I just don't. I don't care for him. Rupert Grint doesn't even try to act anymore.
He was in a M. Night Shyamalan movie.
He
Rupert
also,
Grint.
he also
Yeah.
had a Netflix show for a little
He
bit.
did. But he,
I won't watch M. Night Shyamalan movies. That
Wow,
guy
that-
pisses me off.
wow, that's very.
He's my rock. Him
Oh,
and-
he's your rock?
Him and Marky Mark are
So
the two
J-
people I
I
love.
thought it was J Lo.
I don't like J Lo either. No,
So
fuck
hold
J Lo.
on, M. Night Shyamalan, you have permission to come to the show
And-
and write a twist that
Yeah,
gets,
write
that
some kind
gets
of
him
twist.
off the show.
Write some kind of twist ending against Phil. Like he wasn't here to begin with.
He didn't.
Phil
he never
wasn't here.
existed.
He wasn't even here. Little do you know, Phil wasn't even here. Or that was his ghost. We were Phil all the time.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I mean, they're connected. Marky Mark and M. Night Shyamalan are in the movie. One of the worst scenes in cinematic history is when Marky Mark is talking to the stupid plant from, what's the movie called? The Happening. Have you heard of The Happening? No. It's a movie where plants kill us. They send off like a scent or something. They sent this chemical or something in the plants that makes us want to kill ourselves.
That you said that it's a movie about plants killing us. Sounds a lot like Little Shop of Horrors to me.
Listen, yeah, that's what I thought too.
But there's a part in this movie where they literally have to outrun the wind. You watch the breeze slowly like bend the tall grass, and they're outrunning it. And then he goes and he talks to a plant that's in a pot, and he goes, "Hey, plant, it's okay. We're just gonna get our stuff, and we're gonna get out of
All
here."
right.
The only thing about that movie.
Terrible.
The only thing about that movie I know is that people describe it as the crappening.
There's a reason why. It starts off pretty good. It's like all of a sudden these people just start falling off buildings and like running in front of moving cars, and you're like, "What the fuck is this? Is kind of a cool concept. What is making these people do all this stuff?" And then it turns out it's plants, and you're like, "Oh my god."
May, I have nothing for May.
May, I got two.
Okay, Jaden.
I'm going to start off with one that maybe is we could talk a little bit more controversial. Well, both of them are pretty controversial.
Is it going to be Pokemon?
No.
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Forgettable. I barely remembered it.
It doesn't have the same charm that the other two have.
But I think it had a lot of heart. I think it had a lot of heart-wrenching.
Yeah, wrenching is the right word. It was very tough for me to watch some of
It
those
was
scenes
very
with
tough
Rocket.
to watch.
Strapped down and getting experimented on.
But
and-
I think they took Guardians of the Galaxy and made it a little more art than what it was before.
Maybe. I don't like the complete transformation of Nebula into like this
Nice.
mother character.
I don't think it's as good as the other two, but I think it was good. There were some scenes where I was like, "This is terrible."
And they also might have done it for artistic, value. I was hoping for a payoff of Star-Lord and Gamora falling back in love, but
Well,
you never got that.
I kind of like that they didn't, based on your social circumstances, things happen differently. Not just because you're the same person,
Right.
it doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're going to end up falling in love with
Yeah,
the
it
same
goes
other
against
person.
the soulmate
right.
trope.
So I like it that they didn't end up
Yeah.
together, but
I-
she ended up living
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It was kind of like a big send-off for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, they didn't say the Guardians of the Galaxy will return in future movies. They said Star-Lord will
Right.
return.
Well, they have to end everything at some point. It's like I
Yeah.
keep saying about Marvel movies. People keep complaining, "Oh, the Marvel movies aren't as good as they were," and blah, 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 blah. Everything has to peak at some point.
No, right. And that's fine. Just the way they sent off some of them, I wasn't a fan of. Like the way they sent off Drax with Nebula being like, "You weren't born to be a destroyer. You were born to be a dad." You know, that was terrible.
I don't see. I don't even remember what happened with Drax.
I don't remember very well.
I know that Groot and Rocket and all those guys, they started like a new Guardians, right? But
Groot, Rocket, and who?
Groot, Rocket, Kraglin,
right.
Adam
Oh, I forgot about Adam. See, I barely remember the movie.
Warlock.
I started watching it again while we were on the cruise. We had some dead time on the cruise and we were watching it. But
I think it was good. I think it was a good. I think Rocket send off was good. I think Quill finally going back to Earth was good. I liked.
You don't want Quill on Earth.
I don't mind him on Earth.
It's not the point of him.
No, but I like that he's finally reconnecting with his family. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Right.
And
I mean,
then-
you got to find creative ways to end stories. I've mentioned this in other episodes, but you got to find a way to close character stories off without them just dying. Mm-hmm. You know?
Done with? Oh, you got May still. You got more May.
I got
Oh,
the
here we
biggest
go.
thing of the year,
Oh,
baby.
boy.
He's
May.
rubbing his hands.
Tears of the motherfucking kingdom.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. That's been like one of the big topics on this show.
So good. So good.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have a love-hate relationship with that game. So many cool things, so many fun missions and fighting sequences and cinematic stuff. But at the same time, I can't get over the trolling that they do to you in this game. Oh, you got to change your armor with a lightning storm or you're going to get zapped. You have to go, nope. You're running out of potion. You got to go find where you can get potion and build it all up.
It's the end of the year. We've talked a lot about how you guys don't like the games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going to rant for just a minute
Okay, do it.
about
Rant
how
away.
much I love them.
I want to hear it.
Can you rant about how much you love something?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Reverse rant. Okay,
Because he's angry at us.
I'm angry at you because you don't like the games.
I like it enough to play.
let
I've
him-
gotten pretty far.
So the addition of the Sky Islands and the depths were great. I absolutely loved being in the depths. I loved how
Now you mean
unique it
additions
was
to the
the
Breath of the
map.
to the Breath
to
of
the,
the Wild.
to the Breath of the Wild map.
Okay.
They were great additions. The Sky Islands were okay. They had some cool stuff in there. They had some cool shrines. But the depths is really where I fell in love with like the new stuff they added, because
You can't see anything in the depths.
yes, you can.
Get
That's
up
part of the
clo-
reason.
you-
That's part of the reason I love it, is because it's difficult to traverse. It's all about exploration and you creating the whole map yourself. That's awesome. I love the aesthetic of it. I think it's beautiful down there.
What do you mean creating the whole map yourself?
Like, in the above world, you get the towers and you get big chunks of the map. This one, it's like you get a circle and you have to make the map yourself.
oh,
like, where
okay,
you
okay.
go.
So like you're getting rid of the fog of war, if
right,
you will.
yeah. I think the game beautiful. I love the cell shading. I think everything looks great. I don't think there's a single thing in the game that doesn't look beautiful.
Yeah, you always said you had a problem with the graphics. Like going back to like the Nintendo 64 versions of the game, they're like all sharp, like their elbows and everything is
Yeah.
all sharp and gross looking. I don't have a problem with this graphically compared to like PlayStation 5 and Xbox because of the style that they did.
Right.
It in.
I think it's
it
great.
works.
And I love the combat. Usually I'm not one for combat that doesn't let me use some sort of magic, but this is just so simple and it really gets where you need to be. I think it's perfect for what it is, and I think that the story was great. I did prefer Calamity Ganon. I prefer Calamity Ganon of Breath of the Wild to the Demon King. The Demon King was great. I love that they're going back to the time travel of the Zelda games. That they seem to do a lot. it's
Listen,
awesome.
we
There's
have
so
a
much
lover
to do.
We have a lover, a hater, and an in-betweener here. So
I'm so in between because, like I said, there's so many times it's like, oh, my freaking awesome sword broke. Now I got to go back to the freaking castle and get the good one again. There's no point in that other than to waste time.
Exactly.
That's the only
It's
point
true.
that it
It's
is.
true.
Is to waste time and say, oh no, look, now he's gonna have to go back and get the sword again.
true.
It's so stupid. It's so frustrating.
Listen, Tears of the Kingdom has made a lot of content for us. I've streamed it a lot.
that's true. And we've talked about it.
Talked about it a lot. I've streamed it a lot.
But again, Tandy and I have spent hours playing it. We both love playing it together. I have such.
She doesn't play it though.
No, but she helps me and she remembers stuff and helps me figure out puzzles and stuff.
Because it's so beautiful.
We
There's
have
so
fun.
much to do.
Can I give my rebuttal?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, the look of the game. I get what you guys are saying. Aesthetically, it's stylized, but it's not a good style. Yes,
I like it. I like it a lot.
It doesn't look. Even the environment doesn't look full enough. It looks empty. It looks empty with a couple trees popped up here and there. It doesn't look. The forest. There's not enough trees in the forest. There's too much light coming through.
Okay.
Right. If you're in a forest, like
Well, you
go play
never-
Hogwarts Legacy. You're in the Forbidden Forest. If you're not flying, you can't see the sky.
Well, you
That's
never,
what a forest is like.
you never went to Korok Forest.
Don't tell me I've never been in the forest. That was a bit weird.
Do, 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 do.
But it doesn't matter. All forests should be like that, not just Korok Forest.
Have you ever been to the forest in like a park? That's just like what it's like.
If you go, it depends on when you go. If you go in the fall, there's no leaves. But
I remember going back to the Link into the Past when you go get the Master Sword in the Lost Woods. There, they do a really good job of making it look like you're like there's spots where it's shadowy and then light where the trees aren't.
But so I just think that it looks like a very empty world, right? There's not a lot. There's no life that you don't interact with, right? Am I right with that? There's no birds flying in the.
Yes, there are.
There's
Is
there's
You
plenty
can
of stuff.
interact with them though. You can get their meat and cook it.
But there's not a lot of them. There's not
There are a
little
lot of
animals
them.
bouncing around.
I
Or,
see butterflies and
I mean,
bugs
do you
all the
need that
time.
though?
it just doesn't look full to me. It doesn't look full. The combat is way too easy, guys. It's way too easy. It's too easy.
But it's easy when you have everything.
Well, I don't need everything. Here's the thing. Here's one thing that I got when I made my character, I could do things that Jaden couldn't do. I didn't even put any of my what are they called?
Hearts.
Hearts, whatever they be. I didn't put any of them into my health. I put them all into my stamina. I had all my rings before I even put any of them into health, and I never died, unless it was for some stupid reason. Because and I could climb way further than Jaden could. I could fly or glide way further than Jaden could because the combat isn't demanding enough to make you put those skills into.
You never got to a really difficult combat area. Like the fight with Phantom Ganon is hard as hell.
Some of the,
Is that the last guy?
No.
not even those, but like all the bad guys from the different villages.
The bosses,
that you had to save,
I did beat
some
the bosses.
of those were tough.
I beat 2 bosses, I believe.
The stupid slime guy in Zora, he was so hard because you get stuck in the freaking
Yeah, I remember
stuff.
that guy.
It was so tough.
I beat that guy, but
The first time it was really tough. The second time, I actually went and beat this boss on stream. We have it up. You can go watch that.
so yeah, I have the same problems with Phil about the weapons. It really is just trolling, especially if it's like if you have like 2 weapons that are the same, and or you carry three of the same type of weapon. They're exactly the same. One breaks, and all you do is switch to the other one. What the hell's the point of that?
To kill the weapon
They
system.
don't do that anymore.
They need to kill that
There's
shit.
so little chance with the fuse mechanic that you have the exact same weapon 3 times in a row. There's so little chance of that. And by the way, they did release a statement saying that the Breath of the Wild style of Zelda is done.
I did hear that too. Yeah.
I'm sad about it.
So what does that mean?
It means that they're going to go back to maybe either a more traditional Zelda style or something new.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means that weapon system.
What do you
is
mean
done.
traditional weapon?
Like with the
Zelda?
dungeons.
Down.
I doubt that's what that means. I doubt they're going to go top down. They'll probably still go 3D.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're probably saying, "Don't worry, we're not
Maybe
gonna
not open world.
we're not gonna frustrate the fuck out of you with this stupid weapon system." That's what they're saying.
But they made 2 games that are so beloved.
Bah, they didn't win Game of the Year.
They were also hated at this.
It won Best Action Adventure Game of the Year.
I'm not the
But
only
it's
person.
not the best action adventure game.
But it did win, so it is.
I'm not the only person who gave up on Zelda for Breath of the Wild. A lot of people did because they couldn't stand the weapons
Well,
system.
you should try it again.
Well, I don't know if I can because it's hard to go backwards from a game because there's things in Tears of the Kingdom that you won't be able to do in Breath of the Wild.
Well, there are
certain
things you can-
mechanics.
There are
All right.
things you can do in Breath of the Wild you can't do in Tears of the Kingdom too.
For the last time, fellas, because we've done it a lot, should we? Sorry. Like flicking shit at Jane. Should we, for the last time, speak in our best Zelda voices?
You can stop that. You can stop that. Stop. Please stop that.
Why does he have to make noise every time he like jumps? He goes,
But it's not always the same noise.
okay, it's like every 3. It's like,
No.
But that's another thing where they troll you. You're making that noises when you climb. You go, right? When it's fucking raining and you can't climb the mountain because it's fucking slippery?
yeah.
Give me a fucking break! Climbing isn't fucking annoying and boring and dragged and tedious enough. You gotta fucking make it not be able to happen when it's wet?
All right, Jaden, you do your voice.
I thought that was...
That sounds like Animal Crossing.
That's Animal
thought we were
Crossing.
I bet you somebody on Zelda would do that.
Tune it up.
So in June, me and my wife went on a cruise to Alaska. I'm not going to talk about that too much because you guys don't care.
You already talked about it.
Yeah, and I talked about it a lot. But
That's
Alaska's
what this
amazing.
is. We're breaking down what...
Listen,
Yeah.
everybody, if you have an opportunity to go to Alaska, I highly recommend it. It's so beautiful there. It's just like, it almost feels like you went back in time. Because it's just not, there's just not all the hustle and bustle, there's no rat race. In particular, the first place we were on was an island called Sitka, and I loved it there.
You're naming your Ricky Davis team
Yeah.
now.
The thing that I always like to say, and you guys have heard it before, but if you haven't listened to the podcast many times, you haven't heard it. Every time you breathe in the Alaska air, it feels like you add another year to your life. It's like, I'm going to live another year longer. It's so pure.
When you put it like that, it does make it intriguing to want to go and see the difference. Because another thing that happened in June that you weren't here for, I think it happened while you were on your
Absolutely.
cruise,
It was the exact opposite.
Was the wildfires in Canada where
Yep,
you were here for that,
Ontario.
right? And this was in Canada. This shit happened.
They
And
blew over
freaking
the lake.
Yeah, like the sky was like red all day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like thick and foggy, and it just smelled like a wildfire burning
Yeah.
outside, or like a campfire outside.
And
It was scary.
It was.
Alaska just feels like pure, and it's not like, it doesn't have like the muggy heat. It doesn't have like the moisture in the air, and it almost feels like you're on another planet. It just, like, we're walking. Michelle and I were at this park, and we're just walking, and I was trying to explain it to her, but she's like, I know what you mean. Like, I'm like, I can't explain this to you, but the air feels different. It feels different here. And it did. There's some plants that can only grow in like 98 or 99% pureness oxygen.
Oh, wow.
And they grow in Alaska.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. So that's my June.
I just need more things to be able. I just need more fun stuff.
Yeah, I
I mean, I can appreciate a beautiful scenery. I can appreciate a mountain, the air, stuff like that. But I mean, to spend all that money to go all that way just to be like, okay, wow, this is great, and then then
Nah, but we did that fun stuff on the cruise, and then when we were in Alaska, we saw the bears, and just I don't want to talk about it too much, but I highly suggest it. Give it a chance, give it a shot, everybody. It's amazing there.
It's on the to-do list if I ever get rich.
If I ever got rich, I'd have a place there.
June was the beginning of my 2-month-long break from doing anything.
That's always nice.
It was amazing.
2 months?
Yeah, I had June and July.
College, no college. Well, you
Yeah, but you
Started
worked.
working in July.
Yeah.
I had June off.
Yeah, you got to get.
Completely off.
Mike.
I had June completely off. Thank you. That's better. You know,
Minecraft had the Trails and Tales update in June.
I have no idea what that is.
Every couple of months, Minecraft gets a big content update. They added new wood types, new animals to the game. It was fun.
Now they've never had like a Minecraft 2,
No, they
right?
just keep
They
updating
just
one.
okay, yeah.
I like that.
I love it. Those guys are cool. It's like they get it. Like, you know what I mean? They're not like money grabbing.
It's stayed. That's the reason Minecraft has stayed so as relevant as it has, is because it keeps getting new content.
Well, then
out
how
there.
do they make money?
They release new games
What do you mean?
not Minecraft though.
like Minecraft Legends or Minecraft Dungeons, where it's not
Oh,
really
okay.
Minecraft, but it's kind of Minecraft style.
There's something to be said about having a popular, IP. Anyways,
Because like I don't understand how Grand Theft Auto 5 keeps making so
No.
much money.
Well, because they sell DLC, like the shark cards or whatever. Minecraft does
yeah.
that too, but it's all aesthetic stuff.
yeah,
okay,
that's what Fortnite does too as well. Fortnite does not
right.
charge. for
Fortnite's
the-
never had a sequel.
Minecraft, you have to buy though.
Yeah,
you have to buy the game.
Seems like they could do that with Stadium Creator and MLB The Show. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, you can buy different pieces.
I've put that on a wish list video before.
Plug your channel. Plug your channel.
Although people, plug the channel.
Studio 44 on YouTube if you want to see a huge community of people who are obsessed with baseball stadiums of all things. I never thought it would be
In particular, baseball stadiums on that game.
right that you can create.
And him plugging his channel reminded me I just started a channel as
All
well.
right. Give it to us.
Interesting.
Give it
What
to
is
us.
your channel then?
My channel is called the Fake Mon Den, where it's my experience with growing and becoming a better artist, where I showcase all of my fake Pokemon I like to do.
He loves making them, and he gets a lot of hits on those too. When
Yeah.
he part,
My
people love
I-
Pokemon.
I posted a video, my second video I ever posted last night, already up to 1,000 views.
Yeah,
Nice.
people love that
shit.
Pokemon shit, man.
That's fantastic.
You got to find your niche, man. We don't have it yet here.
Because we're talking about everything, and that's why I wanted to get to a podcast format. Because I think with a podcast format, although I did see people say that even with a podcast you should have a niche, but that's why I think kind of nerd culture is our niche.
Yeah,
But the problem is nerd culture kind of covers such a wide
but
thing.
and we're more like a radio show than a podcast. But anyways, let's keep.
Wait, didn't you
my
have one more thing?
Oh.
My June. You guys are so tired of hearing me say the words "The Flash."
We are.
But listen, have you seen it?
I refuse to watch it.
Oh,
I didn't care for it.
I thought it was the underrated movie of the year. I'm not crazy about Ezra Miller. I know Ezra Miller has their problems, but there's just such a freaking Ezra Miller does such a great job with that character. They make him very the Flash. They make him very likable, and I loved seeing Michael Keaton as Batman again. Some of the best fighting sequences of the movie were him as Batman.
So I think the exact opposite. I think Ezra Miller is a very unlikable person. They just give off they've had their problems, obviously.
Yeah.
But they just, even before that, they just aren't. I don't.
But
like them.
has Ezra Miller's problems off screen been as bad as some other people who have
Well,
been
no.
less canceled than he has?
But he hasn't
Then
been
Ezra
canceled. Those things that they did were way before this movie,
Right.
and they still got the movie.
True.
They haven't been canceled fully.
Right.
Like,
But I think probably the poor performance of the movie is going to be Ezra Miller's undoing more than Ezra's behavior.
But he just-
But again, I mean, I think there was so much potential in the Zack Snyder universe, but it definitely tanked. I think The Flash was one of the better of the Snyderverse movies. It was cool. The beginning sequence, when the Justice League is all together, was fun. I didn't care for the stupid baby thing, but with Batman chasing the people down and Wonder Woman coming to help at the last minute, and it's having two different Batmans. I liked the Supergirl enough; she was good. I just think it was. And we've talked about this ourselves with the time travel aspect.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about how going back and undoing 9/11 could create new problems, But Ezra Miller or the Flash has to make that choice and chooses to sacrifice his mother for the good of the world. So that's a tough decision, and that's a heart-wrenching decision. So the movie had some good heart to it, I think, too. So I think it was better than people gave it credit.
I watched it and fell asleep.
You fall asleep during everything.
No, I don't. I didn't care for it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have that much to say about it. I didn't love it. I didn't love him. I don't think he's that great of an actor. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't think the Flash is a character to carry his own movie.
Well,
And-
that's why they had so many.
And
other
when you
cameos, I think.
mix these guys together, the Flash's powers become less and less of a big
Right.
deal because Superman can run as fast as Flash.
He cannot.
Almost.
But he does the thing where he can, and go through walls
Superman
and
is
stuff.
not even close to the Flash's speed.
Well,
Where
they're
do you
gonna
get
race.
this from? Because they've raced in the comic books, and the Flash beat him by like 0.1 seconds or something. So where are you getting
the
it
comic books,
from? Superman's close.
he's not nearly as close.
He's close enough where
Yeah.
it makes flashes.
But Superman can't vibrate his hand so quickly that he phases through a wall.
Is that a physics thing that could happen?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if he would phase through a wall or would he drill through the wall first.
No, because
he would. But
that-
before he phased through the wall, he would drill through the wall.
No, because that concept goes back to the fact that atoms are mostly empty space. So that if you got your atoms through the atoms, you would go right through the wall.
But you'd have to be able to see the other atoms and move them away from the atoms.
No, you just have to go quick enough that you go through.
No way. No way. I don't believe it. I think it's theoretically possible, but I don't think it's possible.
Well, that's what all these superhero movies are about.
No, I'm just. My point is, if he's shaking that fast and that whatever, he would be like putting a hole in the wall before he would phase through it. There's just no way. There's just no way.
I think it's a cool enough power, but it doesn't seem like he'd be able to do it like holding people like he does.
His brain also goes incredibly fast.
So if he can phase through the wall, and Superman can just break through the wall, well, I mean,
well, who would you rather have come like protect your house? Someone who's going to destroy
Superman.
Who's going to
Definitely Superman. Definitely Superman. No
Yeah.
matter what you're about to say, I'd definitely rather have Superman.
Well,
come
think
protect-
about the cost of what
Superman would
does.
pay me for it.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
He's a
Have you seen Superman 2?
he's not a rich. He's a reporter.
Sorry about the mess. I think Superman gets.
Yeah,
gets
he's
his,
like,
he gets
so-
his share of money.
Sorry about the mess. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
All right. So we have gotten through the first 6 months. So we've got through half of the year. Stay tuned for episode 2, where we break down the second half of 2023.
Are we going to start in July?
We're going to start in July for the next episode.
Because that's the second half.
and go all the way down to December. Follow us on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe.
What if we're going to just? What if they don't want to watch?
If you don't want to watch us on YouTube, we're available on Podbeam. We're available on
Podbean.
What did I say?
Beam. You said beam.
I do it too.
Podbean.
We're sorry,
mistake.
Podbean. We shouldn't tell everybody about Podbean because then we'll have more competitors.
We're available on Apple Music. We're available
Apple Music. It's called what? iTunes.
iTunes.
Apple
iTunes.
Music is what it's called now.
Are we on Google?
We're on Google.
We're on Google.
All right, so you can find us all there. Stay tuned
Alexa
for
can do us.
episode 2.
If you have an Alexa, just say Alexa, play Respect the Pick.
Absolutely, it'll
I hope
work.
Alexa didn't just hear you.
I mean,
got-
we're famous.
You got to speak clearly though. 'cause
Are we
she-
a little
she
bit
gets
famous
confused.
now?
No.
We're getting there.
We
We're
don't
not
have enough.
famous.
We're not famous.
There
We're
are
legend. We're legends in our own mind.
Less than 1% of the population would be like, "Hey, you guys are the guys from Respect the."
Oh, less than 1% of 1%.
yeah.
Less than 1% of 1% of 1%.
Yeah. But there is somebody out there.
We're getting close, though. I want them to. I want for Halloween. I want somebody to dress up like Mark from Respect the Pick. That's still my goal.
Just put on a Yankee hat and a sweatshirt.
That's right.
Respect the pick.
Children